What's up? I think we're live.
On?
Let's get
What's
the
happening?
fucking. How do I do this again? I always forget the banners, man. How do I? There it is. One and there's the other. Nope. There they are. Yay, we have banners.
Gotta let us know what we're talking about. Gotta let us know what we're talking about.
Well,
All
this is our
right.
first episode of a new show. It's called the Dumbfounded Dipshits Podcast. We are a bunch of dumbfounded dipshits.
I take pride in my dipshitness.
Don't we all? Don't we all? What the hell? Well, what is this bullshit? There we go. Fuck you. Sorry, I'm sharing this. I always try to share this everywhere first. I have a bunch of groups I'm in, like podcast groups and shit.
Yeah.
So
Gotta let them know. Gotta let them know what we're talking about. And I guess if you haven't seen it in the ticker on the bottom, that's what we're talking about today, kiddos.
Today we're talking about the history of the word.
Yes. Cunt! Cunt!
Now, some people consider it like the most offensive word on the planet, which I don't see how that's even fucking possible.
No, I don't think
it's just a cunt.
I'll tell you why it's not. It's not because they're, okay. Anybody could be a cunt, really. Like, anybody could be a dick. Anybody could be an asshole. You know what I mean? Not all of us have cunts. Not all of us have dicks, but we all have assholes. So there's it's like saying calling someone an asshole. It's like, I don't see how it could be that bad. I know that there's a certain mass section of humanity that deems the word to be very offensive.
What's up, Raymond?
I don't believe that it happens to be, depending on what region you're in, because from what I understand, in Britain, in Scotland, in Ireland, it hold as much of an abrasive impact as it does in the States.
Well, I was watching the show Peaky Blinders, and they say cunt, but more than anything I've ever heard.
Every other word they say.
Yeah, but is it just okay when they say it because of the accent? And we don't have an accent,
it helps.
So when we say it, it's cunt. It's not
hard.
I don't
cuts
know the
hard
English
as
way.
An American, right? As an American, like an American English.
We have two.
You fucking cunt.
We have two Aussies in the chat, by the way, and one of them said, "Aussies use that word all the time." I'm going to show them my new piece real quick. Here's my new piece. It's free with the Daily High Club. They're not a sponsor, but I mean,
nice
we
piece,
wish
bro.
we hope they'll sponsor us one day. Right now, we pay for the boxes.
Bro.
I'm gonna go ahead and get my.
Enough showing off your piece, Mike. Enough showing off your piece.
Listen, I have many pieces.
So with the accent thing, right, that you're talking about. So it's like if you say it in like a British accent, or or if it's like there's a Scottish spin on it, or with an Irish brogue or something like that, or even with how the Aussies say it. Even the way the Aussies say it, so the guys who are watching who are from Australia, even when you guys say it, there's a spin on the word that takes away from the impact. Americans use it in such a vulgar sense that it cuts hard. There's a hard stop. It's like hard C, hard N, hard T. So when you're when you're angry and in the state of you yourself are trying to be as offensive as possible. Cunt is such an easy word to say harder than the other curse words. It's harder than fuck. It's harder than shit. It's harder than dick. So you say, why are you being such a fucking cunt?
You silly cunt. You silly cunt.
You silly cunt. It's
Chris thinks the accent is everything.
Accent is everything. You might be right, Chris. I think you might be right about that. And I think also culturally it's different, because the thing is, you got to understand, in pub culture, across the pond, foul language is just, as soon as the first drink hits the lips, everybody's reserve is gone. So you start using language that's way more colorful than you're used to using. So it's more commonly used out there, and here it's not used as often. But when it is, it's used a little bit more in a an offensive, it's an attack as a word. And a lot
What's up,
of
the
people
conservative patriot? How you
perceive it
doing?
that way. Like a lot of people perceive it that way. Men and women, not even just women. Because I know typically women are the ones who mostly get offended by it. Like dudes don't like people saying that too. I've been told by guys to be like, "Yo, watch your mouth." Like, oh, what the fuck? Stop being a cunt.
Well, I was gonna say when I used to work for the government, and the government's very straightforward. And I was sitting around with my coworkers, and I don't know how they were talking about this, how they got involved in this, but they were all circled around each other, hanging out as coworkers do sometimes. Yeah. And they were talking about different dirty words they have for private parts. So one person said twat, one person said dick, one person said one-eye willy, and they were going around, and I walked over and said, what about cunt? And one of the girls that was there saying those words was like, oh, no, I hate that word, ew! And I'm like, you just said twat.
I feel like twat. Yeah, twat is so much worse. Twat is so much worse. It's so much worse. Twat is nasty. That's gross. Stop talking to me about your fucking. Stop.
I think twat is so much more vulgar than cunt. It really is. I don't know. What do I know?
Like if you say, like, you ever try to like switch curse phrases around? So instead of like saying get the fuck out of here, like, get the fuck out of here. Like get the cunt out of here. If you say get the twat out of here, like that's
listen.
Like, listen. You see the effect of the actual word itself in contrast to how you would phrase it.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it sounds a lot worse. Cunt isn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be. I feel like the whole demonization of the word, you know, like and everybody's.
Well, here's some history on the word cunt. Apparently,
I feel like it's exaggerated. Apparently, where does it
started in India.
India.
They had a goddess named Cunty. She was cunty.
We knew for sure she was cunty.
They had a cunty goddess named Cunty. Now, she wasn't always cunty, apparently. She's an important character of Mahabharata. I'm sorry I brutalized spelling that shit. It's right there. I can't.
You butcher pronunciations as a living.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, that's my fucking living. But here's the thing. Let's see where she was adopted. Her name was Paritha. Okay. She was adopted by King Cunty. So she wasn't an original cunt. She became a cunt later on when she got married.
She took over for the other cunties. Somebody else was a cunt.
Cunty grew up in a beautiful and into a beautiful and poised lady. She served. I can't say it without not laughing, man. I'm not even fucking stoned yet.
Where did she get the cunty name? Where did she get the cunty name? She inherited the cunty.
She married into the cuntyism.
Oh, the cuntiness.
Yeah, but this just tells us where the word came from in Indian.
Okay, now
it's not a curse.
In all seriousness, as funny as this is hilarious. This is fucking great. But it's sort of like the goddess Ishtar and Easter, like where the name came from something. Like this is what you're telling me, that it derives directly from this deity, this Hindu goddess, right? That's where we're assuming the word cunt comes from. C-U-N-T.
Well, her name was Cunty.
Is this a possibility, or is this a direct like?
This is, Indian mythology, man.
Okay.
So
I know.
Used
we get a lot of words from Hindu. Okay, what was her mantra? What was this cunt's mantra? I
said mantra. It's mantra because it's M-A-N-T-R-A. Anyway. Cunty used the mantra 3 times and gave birth to 3 elder Pandavs. She summoned the eldest son, I'm not even trying to say that fucking name, from god Dharma. So Cunty gave birth to 3 elders. So wait, were they old when they popped out of her cunt?
Is it like Benjamin Button? Is that like the story you're trying to tell me right now? Man. Is it like give birth to people who happen to be old?
All right, let's get rid of the Indian law here. Let's see the brief history of the word cunt. Let's go to the brief.
So tell me when in the story does she become an actual cunt? Like is there a reason why we use that
cunt. Or she married into the cunt.
Okay. So.
Well, I didn't get to that definition yet because that'll probably come when the white people came along. The white people are the ones who probably made insults out of the name. You know, you always gotta blame whitey for everything.
Like
That's whitey.
Yeah.
I'm not English.
What was the East Indian Trading Company?
So, listen, a brief history of the cunt.
Okay, let's hear this.
Well, I'm packing a bowl right now, so give me 1 second.
Oh, wow.
Guys, I'm not high yet. I'm usually high during the show. Our self-contempt originates in knowing we are cunt. What? Our self-contempt.
Are we one with the cunt? Are we one with the cunt?
From Hindu goddess to pagan rituals to... Okay. I don't even know what the fuck. You want to try to read that shit? You want to pronounce that shit? Here you go. That's where I am.
Saucer's Canterbury Tales. All right.
The C word.
The C word has had an ancient and powerful history that spans centuries and cultures. So this word's traveled, apparently. Why then is cunt still considered one of the most offensive words in the Western Hemisphere? According to author and historian M. Geller, its first appearance in the Oxford English Dictionary is in 1972. So this is a new word. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, fuck is not a new word. You know, fuck is not a new word.
Hold on. I have that in one of our other articles. Fuck is actually much newer than cunt.
Okay, this is 1972, though.
That's what it appeared. Hold on.
Oxford Dictionary.
Yes, you're assuming the white people are God here.
My question is, when does it show up for the first time in the modern vernacular?
That would be the Oxford Dictionary probably. But like we said before, there's a history of cunts in India and in pagan rituals. Apparently, pagans had cunts as well.
I'm sure there were cunts everywhere.
Hi, Sammy from Pittsburgh. How you doing?
My question about like how, in at least the last 200 years, how did we I feel like pirates said cunt. Like, so this was around for at least 400 years ago. Like, people were using it the way that we use it now. You know, like shit, shite, you know, people have been using that term for at least 700 to 1,000 years. You know, so like there's foul language that has been around for a lot longer than a lot of us realize. So I think cunt has got to be older than
well, if you read a little further,
colonial, yeah.
With the word vagina rooted in Latin cunis, meaning
cunnilingus, right? Kun means cunt.
While vagina is used much more commonly in I'm not trying to pronounce that. I'm too fucking tired for that. To refer to genitals of people with vulvas. Wow, my
with vulvas.
Vulvas.
Okay.
Then cunt is. Its origins are defined in its service to male sexuality, making cunt interesting enough. At least the least historically. Oh, really?
Misogynistic. I
know. I stopped it in mid sentence because I'm like, wait. So cunt is the least misogynistic. I'm done. My life is done. I can't.
It's the least misogynistic.
It's the misogynistic. I can't fucking read. My life is done.
Okay, so do you think do you think that version is the least misogynistic of the two? I think it would be like, owning the word again would be like it's a Hindu goddess's name instead of it saying it's rooted in Latin.
But I don't know about you, but when I'm about to have some fun, I don't go to my lady and say, I'm about to ravage that cunt. Because I don't think the lady would enjoy that term.
Nah, some of them do. Some of them do, though. But some of them do, Michael. Some of them do. The thing is, like, no, typically I don't think that would be well received for most. If you tried to present yourself in that fashion, at least to the opposite sex. So, but I mean, I feel like it's one of those colorful words that, you know, like it's sort of like fuck. I think fuck and cunt are almost, at least now, equal in its varying ways you could use it. You know, I mean, cunt hasn't quite gotten there. Fuck could literally cunt hasn't really got to the broad spectrum yet as like the word fuck.
Cunt
Fuck has hit
also been
everything
in the Renaissance.
Oh, really? To refer to a woman's private parts, or to a person being?
But it was not until Shakespeare's era that the meaning began to fundamentally shift during the dawn of the Christian doctrine. Damn Christians. The precise etymology, I probably said that wrong.
Etymology?
Maybe I didn't say it wrong. Of the word cunt is a matter of debate. People are debating about cunts, apparently.
We're having a cunt debate right now. We're having a cunt debate right now.
This episode is a cunt debate, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like, we're not siding on anything. I just want to
there
find
she
out
is. I mentioned her before. See, cunty. Found her.
Is that like
that's the Indian goddess. Indian goddess.
But that looks like a watercolor. Maybe this Hindu goddess's kid like put up on the refrigerator, and like, you know.
It does. It really does.
I don't think that's an actual artist's depiction. I think that's more like an animation.
And that was before Christ, by the way.
Yeah.
It was believed the stories about the Hindu goddess Kunti was believed to be written either 200 or 400 BC. Wow.
I'm not surprised. You know, like a lot of those.
Of course.
A lot of those deities go back like a couple thousand years, 3,000 years. But yeah.
Christianity and the demonization of female sexuality. In the Middle Ages, Christian clergymen preached the idea of a woman's genitals as a potent source of evil. Evil cunts.
Oh, wow. You know what? Now it's starting to make sense. It's starting to all make sense now. You know, because these are terms you've heard. I've heard that. I've heard somebody. I think I may even called somebody an evil cunt before.
Evil cunt. So referring to the Cunis Diaboli, meaning devilish.
Diaboli. Cunis Diaboli. It sounds like you're going to say it with an Italian accent. Oh, Cunis Diaboli.
Yeah, I fucking listen. I can hear someone read it and then say it, but I'm fucking retarded.
Cunis Diaboli. Cunis Diaboli.
Shrines across South Asia depicting any reference to the goddess Kunti were also destroyed. Kunti, not Kunti, excuse me. They were deemed grotesque and blasphemous. They were probably beautiful Kunti pictures, and they destroyed.
It might have been nice, yeah. It might have been like a, you know, like some
Kunti pictures.
Something like a sight to be seen, you know, like that temple that they have the Kama Sutras carved out throughout the whole temple. You ever see that? Where the temple's just all sex positions. It's like 3,000-year-old temple in India. And it's just like, it's fucking stone carving of just fuck everywhere. Ancient fuck everywhere. That's the fuck temple, not the cunt temple. Apparently, they burnt the cunt temple down. They didn't want to have that.
A cunt in Dutch is a butt. Huh.
So it's a rear end. So it's like, okay, you know, like, maybe we could do another show on the word origin of fuck. But just to give a little tidbit of information that I heard in the past is that where fuck derived from was fornication under the consent of the king, and then somebody said no, it's a version of the German word freaking, and then so on and so forth. Like there's the million different ways how the word fuck comes to being used. So maybe cunt also had that sort of like an influence into like how you would use it. So like you said, the Dutch, it's like rear end. And like, you know, lady parts are, you know, very close to the rear end. You know what I mean? And yeah, you know, and maybe, you know, the goddess, the Hindu goddess, and then
So
Latin,
also I have a video I
Latin
want to show, and it's
know,
probably in the background right now. It's just how to pronounce the word cunty. So let's hear how we're supposed to pronounce the word.
The goddess's name.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Kunti.
She's a cunty. She's cunty. Kunti.
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 She's
Kunti.
kunti.
Okay.
Kunti.
It's close. It's not exactly though. It doesn't sound like the word that I know.
Listen.
I'm really leaning. You know what, Mike? Honestly, I'm leaning more towards
tomato.
I'm leaning more towards the tomato, but I'm leaning more towards the Latin word origin, because a lot of medical terms and stuff like that come from Latin and Greek and ancient Greek, and it just seems like there was somebody who was maybe semi-educated a couple of hundred years back, maybe Shakespearean era, Renaissance, fucking Europe or whatever. And like whatever, Columbus, whatever, and then like around that time, 1400s and shit, like maybe at some point somebody tried to use a smart word and fucking put their spin on it while they were at the pub drinking with their buddies, and they were like, what's kun? Kun, what does that mean? What does that kun mean? And he's like, kun, like ladies' parts. And we're like, oh,
ladies'
kun?
parts.
Then kun turned into cunt, and then they're like, I'm not a kun, you're a. Then
I like this.
Somebody saying calling somebody you fucking cunt. It's abrasive, but it's not like American saying it sounds like they're fucking telling your whole everybody in the female all in one word.
You think Conor McGregor says the word cunt?
Oh, I love it when he says that word. I think it's kind of like
Kunt.
You fucking cunt. Cunt.
So, according to Wikipedia,
According to Wiki,
cunt is a vulgar word.
It is vulgar.
For the vulva
Now we like it.
or vagina. It is also used as a term of disparagement. What? Disparagement. Wow, Mike. Oh.
Disparagement. Disparagement?
I said disparagement, but whatever.
Porridgement?
I don't know.
Tomato, Michael.
I'm retarded. Whatever. I can't read. Reflecting different national usages. Cunt is described as a usually disparaging. Did I say it right?
Disparaging.
Disparaging and obscene term for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
How
we know this?
Yeah, no, I get it, but how is it disparaging? I don't get it.
No, it's meant to be. It's like calling somebody stop being a bitch. Stop being a bitch. It's like stop being a fucking cunt, Mike. Mike, come on, just do it. Just do it. Stop being a cunt, Mike. That's disparaging you. It's like, don't make your own decision. Just fucking go ahead with life. You can't do it. You're a cunt, Mike. You're not gonna be able to make it. You're a cunt. You know it. We all know it. You can't do it. That's disparaging. That's the context of how you could disparage somebody by berating them or
Do you read that? The word cunt is generally regarded in English-speaking countries as unsuitable for normal public discourse. That's it.
That was too complicated for me.
What the word cunt is generally regarded as something you don't say basically in public.
Yeah, you just don't say it in public. Like fuck, they say that about fuck too. I think in Wiki.
I wonder how many Irish or English guys were riding the subways in New York City and just saying cunt 100 times because some chick got offended and said some shit.
Oh, yo. All right. You know what? Honestly, that day that we were in Madison Square Garden at UFC 205, that day I saw more Irish people that day than I've ever seen in my whole fucking life in one place. And that word was getting thrown around very loosely all over the place. And there was plenty of your average American ladies walking around hearing all of that. And I could only imagine. I can't speak for them, but I could only imagine after the first wave of about 30 cunts that came their way, they probably were in a state of shock to where they would not be able to recover, but that only when they were immersed into it again, it just did not affect them as bad as the first time. That's it. Otherwise, because even me and I like using that word. It was overwhelming for me just to be like hearing it, just loosely being used.
Yeah, I don't. There's no words I don't use. Not that I'm trying
the people who speak, like Cockney English, like that dialect, that slang, like they use the word cunt a lot too, and it's almost like a reflex word, like fuck, like we use fuck in America like that. Everything's fuck something. There's a fuck everything. I look back at one of my videos and I use the word fuck a lot more often than I thought I used it.
No, I curse a lot. Like I have to. I don't know. I don't realize how much I curse even in public. It just. Yes, Sammy. Yes, it just rolls off the tongue. 100%. It definitely does, and a lot of curses I use end up wrong. Like, and also it's because we grew up, like you're older than me, but we still grew up when it wasn't a bad thing to say certain things. Like, not that and we never meant them in a way.
I mean, you had to behave yourself. You had to behave yourself on the certain occasions, but in the street when we were playing with your friends, you said whatever the fuck you wanted to, man. There was no holds barred.
Yes, but it wasn't. We didn't use the words in a offensively use them, like even the F-bomb, not fuck, the other one. Like, you called someone that not because they were gay. You didn't say you didn't call them that as a gay derogatory term. You called him that because he was being like a sissy or some shit.
Yeah, it was like in the Louis C.K. context, like when he said in that stand-up special, like he said it. He was like, no, I'm not calling you that because I think you're gay. I'm calling you that because she's just being like, yeah.
But
the thing is, like, what happened was obviously, political correctness, got a pretty, good grip on media and all sorts of mediums, and what happened was that, like, I guess there are people who do take offense to certain words. But
it shouldn't. Words should not really bother you.
One would think like they shouldn't cut as much as they do, but the individuals let it hurt them as much as they wanted to hurt them. You can blame people in the past for you can blame people in the past for the weight that they put on these specific words, but nowadays you could devalue them so much. You know what I mean? And still have the freedom to say what you guys see. Because when somebody says, for example, and this is a big one, the R word. Most people who say the R word aren't trying to offend people who happen to be special needs. Happen to be special needs or people with Down syndrome.
Are you talking about
you're just trying to refer to but because there's a negative connotation and it's in relation to people who happen to have these
I had friends,
these conditions.
I have relatives that have these conditions, and I would never call them that because of that condition. Of course
not. That's what I'm saying. Your intent isn't to offend people who happen to have these conditions.
But if you're trying to put a quarter in a candy machine and you drop it 25 times, I might go, yo, bro, are you fucking retarded or something?
I might do that. No, I would do that. Not when cameras are rolling.
It might have nothing to do with any disability whatsoever. Like, no, I'm being real. Like I had a cousin who was slow. I mean, I don't know what the legal term for it was, and unfortunately, he passed away at a young age because he was in bad shape. And I had a few relatives. I would never use that term against them or anyone like them, I would use it as making fun of my asshole friend.
Exactly. So that's the thing. That's the intent. So it's like the C word. Now we're gonna go back to cunt and say
always back to cunt.
Always back to cunt is that let's just say, is it And
I
why
really like
why would I not be allowed to say it if I feel like calling one of our friends, one of our comrades, one of our homeboys, or what have you, even sister to sister? Why can't my sister call my other sister a cunt? She
can.
fuck cunt, Mike. And then without having other parties get offended by me calling you a cunt.
She can. It's no problem. It's in the safety of your
I could
own
call.
home.
I could call you. I could call you a pussy, right? I call you pussy. People don't get.
Yeah.
Nobody gets mad at that. Nobody gets mad at
Pussy
that.
does not mean the same thing as cunt.
Well, I mean, like with in relation to female genitalia.
It means the same thing in relation to female genitalia.
Only that. The other
I wouldn't
meanings.
call you a pussy when you were being a cunt. There's a difference.
Exactly.
You know.
But no one would be offended. No one would be offended if I called you a pussy, but they would be offended if I called you a cunt. Or someone may be like, "Don't say that. You can't say that."
Look, if there was a cat in a tree and it was stuck, and I said, "Can you do me a favor? You can climb that tree and go up there and get the cat." And you said, "No, I'm afraid of heights. I'm going to call you a pussy." It would make sense. But I wouldn't call you a cunt because cunt doesn't make sense in that context.
No, it doesn't. But someone might use that though. Actually, stop being a fucking cunt. And
Well,
get the
it's
fuck
context.
Up that tree.
It's all context. Listen, get your pussy ass cunt up in that tree.
You get your pussy cunt, fucking cunt, fucking pussy ass cunt, fuck. You can use so many fucking curses in that one command. It's not even funny. You could stack one curse word on top of another, and make a fucking shit turd, fucking cocksuck, fuck, dick, cunt sandwich.
I didn't do it intentionally. I did not do it intentionally, by the way. And I just realized what I did. I'm wearing.
It was quite. You don't even know you're an artist. You don't even know you're an artist. My name is Michael. I make the art. That's all I know. I make the art.
I wore an Every Time I Die shirt. Right? You see Every Time I Die?
Oh yeah. Yo, dude, loving the Every Time I Die shirt.
That song. You're a
cunt. I'm upset. Yeah, You're a cunt is a good one, man. But that's off of First Night in Town, right? Is it First Night in Town?
Guttered Phenomenon?
I can't remember what album that is. Guttered Phenomenon. Maybe you're right.
I think so. Maybe. I don't know. They have so many
albums. They're great. And there's another thing that I had mentioned. I'm going on this fucking rant about everything being fucking canceled. But I was supposed to be going to a festival in September in Alabama, and they were on the festival. And
they're on every fucking festival.
But they're fucking great live, man.
I think out of all the bands I've seen live, I've seen them the most. It's not intentionally.
Wow. They just have to be at everything. They have to be at a lot of things. Yeah, I know.
Every Warped Tour I've been to like 6 Warped Tours. They've been there, all of them, and
all of them. Yeah.
And then I've been to Sounds of the Underground. They played Saints and Sinners. They played all those New York tours. So I've always saw them, always, and I didn't actually become.
They're a hardworking band. They're a hardworking band. They're a hardworking band. I really like them a lot.
They use the word cunt.
Yeah, the new Junk Aesthetic is one of my favorite albums by them. But everything I love, everything they do, I love. Their new shit too is really heavy. So I'm looking forward to them. But unfortunately they're not.
My daughter.
Yeah, your daughter. Yeah.
Sorry, they're not what?
Not continue.
My daughter likes Tool.
Wow, she chilling? Would she go to sleep? So she go to sleep to Anima?
No, she was in front of, she was laying on my lap, and I was. Well, when we came up with this name, when we thought of this name, I didn't realize it was Tool at first from lyrics. By the way.
Yeah.
I just woke up in the morning and I was like, why is that word? It's some dumbfounded dipshits. Where's that from? That's from something, but that'd be a great name for a podcast. And then I go, oh, it's from fucking Tool. So then I played it for my daughter, and she was smiling the whole time and like eyes wide, like wow. And I'm like, yeah.
They're like stimulating stimulating the brain cells. That's nice.
They're so fucking
nice.
good.
It's a good introduction. I think I was introduced to like Led Zeppelin at a young age like that too, and it really affected me obviously. Yeah.
I remember going through when I was a kid. I had to be 7 or 8 years old, I had my mom's boombox, and I used to get on the boombox, hook up a microphone, pretend I was a DJ, and play different tapes. And I was playing Alice in Chains, playing Metallica, playing Soundgarden, playing all these amazing fucking bands.
Dude, I loved those boom boxes back then.
Nice.
That was like one of those things. That was one of those things. Those things like I think I don't know who if I mentioned it to. Maybe it was you. And like about like there's things that are just going to be like obsolete that we're just not going to use anymore and stuff like that. And it was like one of those things that I miss from back then. People walking around with their like everybody's Bluetooth headphones and everybody's within their own casing. Nobody walks around obnoxiously blasting music unless you're one of those.
You're in a car.
Yeah, car guys. But I mean, like walking in the street. Like at any given moment in New York City, somebody would have a I guess a
boombox, a portable music player, and they'll be walking.
If it was an old dude on his stoop playing fucking 10-10 when somebody had some sort of portable audio device blasting.
There's no more old Italian or Greek guys on their stoops blasting AM radio.
Like there's this, no more of that.
There used to be a guy around the corner from me. The world is changing so much. There used to be a guy around the corner from me who probably never said the word cunt in his life. His name was Nunzio. And Nunzio used to give us the snails that we use tomatoes. And we would take those snails and put them in a jar and keep snails. I was young. But I think Nunzio and his cunt of a mother sold the house. Cunt of a daughter. Sorry. Cunt of a daughter sold the house. What? No, she was a bit of a cunt. She was.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, listen, I know a few cunts too, you know. but yeah, like, no, there's no more of that. I mean, you get your, you know, you did get that era where that was like cool. You can walk around fucking music.
Does that bring you back, Ryan? Read the comment. Does that bring you back? That brings me back, bro.
Yeah, I used to wait. My timing was so good. Like I would hit the fucking record button and play button at the same time, right at the beginning of a song. I had like whole tracks only recorded off the radio. Some of them were like, debut song. Like there was some Pearl Jam song I think was being released. This is back in like '96, and I caught it perfect. And it was with none of the radio show hosts, like before or afterwards. Like so, I was like, I had the isolated track before the album was released, and you had to we went to the Wiz. We ended up going to the Wiz to buy the album the next following Tuesday when it was being released. And it was Wiz. Like your game had to be on point with that radio. Yeah, hitting that record button right at the right time to catch that song. I watched my sister do it. That's how I learned how to do it. She was 8 years older than me, and she mastered that shit in the 80s. And I watched her fucking sit by the fucking radio. She had a little Sony boombox where she
I used to have Corn on that shit. I recorded off the radio. I used to have fucking Tool. I used to have, don't tell Tool, they might sue me though. I used to have Limp Bizkit. Sue you. Come on, this was in like 99 or some shit.
Yeah.
I think I fucking sober onto that fucking shit right before Nookie. And then after Nookie was hit the bar by Kid Rock. It was a whole bunch of random mixes, man, from the radio.
Yeah, man. That was an art. Making mixtapes and shit. Mixtapes were like a fucking mixtapes. That was another art form. Like, you know, people were like their own like personal DJs. They were their own DJs. Motherfuckers were so proud of their mixtapes too. They'd be like, "Oh my god, yo, I made this mixtape, bro. I put all the best fucking shit. It's the heaviest mixtape ever." People be like, "Bro, this mixtape is so heavy." Yeah, like that was
not your
was
girl,
like,
but you know, a girl.
It was a baby making music.
I mean, that's how I heard of that when I first heard Glassjaw. It was like, hey, yo, listen to this CD I recorded or I downloaded from Napster. It's a mix, and I had a mix, and it had Siberian Kiss on it or some shit. And I was like, yo, who's that?
Yeah, they were good. But you know what? Like, that was at that transition. That was when people started fucking just, like, downloading shit off fucking Napster and LimeWire and all that stuff. Like, that all died. Making even mixed CDs and stuff like that at that point, The making mix
because
CDs was a
who the
very
fuck has a
gray
CD
area.
now?
In transition from people making mixed cassettes to making mixed CDs were only around for like 3 or 4 years. People were doing that, and then it was just MP3s. And I got all my shit on my computer, or I got my shit on my hard drive. I'll go to your house, put it in your computer, and run it through your speakers. There was no like around for a while. Like cassettes were around for a while, vinyls were around for a while. You know what I mean? Like there was CDs were around for a while, but as far as people recording their own mix of songs onto things, doing it and burning it to a CD didn't last longer than like 4 years as being very popular. And then quickly shit just went digital. MP3s and fucking...
In high school,
digital files.
I made money selling CDs to kids in school.
Like, what do you mean? Mix CDs? Or just
not mixes.
Like, stealing music?
No, I wasn't stealing. Well, I guess in hindsight, yes,
I
probably
music,
was.
Michael?
I probably was breaking the law, but
Mike, why do I always feel like I'm the priest in a fucking confessional every time I have a fucking episode with you? You're always admitting.
Because no, it's a podcast. We talk. I'm older now. I did some things in my life. This is
some crimes you committed in the past.
I'm past the statute of limitations here. Okay, I don't think Eminem is going to come after me for bootlegging his CD to 5 or 6 people in high school.
Yeah, I doubt that. I don't think he gives a shit anymore. He would have back then, though. He was very aggressive back then. I feel like he would have fucking sued somebody.
I would have given him the fucking $100 I made from his CDs. Here you go. You want the money that bad? Here's the $100 back. You fuck.
But it wasn't just Eminem, though. It was probably like System of a Down also. Probably Rob Benson.
I think it was Eminem's first album, second album, and then something else. And then I stopped because I was like, whatever. Or I got a job or something. Yeah, I always stopped doing illegal things once I got a job. Never a smart businessman. You gotta do the illegal things while you have a job, so you have 2 sources of income. Well,
the thing is, I think most politicians believe that there's a correlation with one and the other. So, and then they, like I don't think that's always the truth. I don't think that's always the case. Trust me, but
it's mostly the case.
Yeah, it does work for some people. And then sometimes you still do illegal shit anyway because it's fun.
I love that line. I love the movie The Departed.
The Departed, yeah. Which one?
The Departed.
Which line?
Well, I love that movie, but I love the line where he's like, "Yo, what are you still doing selling drugs, man? You don't need the money." He goes, "I haven't needed the money since I took little Timmy's school lunch money in grade school." He's like, "I just like it." There was some shit about the drugs.
Yeah.
Like, why are you selling drugs, man? You don't need the money. So I haven't needed that money since I stole little Timmy's lunch money in high school.
Yeah,
so I just like it.
What about
that? Didn't Canada have a mayor that smoked crack, or was that the U.S.?
Toronto. That was Toronto.
Toronto's mayor was smoking crack.
Mayor of D.C. This is what happened. Fuck the mayor of Toronto, that fat white guy that looked like Chris Farley and got arrested. He smoked crack, yes.
Yeah.
Mayor of D.C. back in the day got caught smoking crack. Got caught up in that whole shit on camera, and then won the next election and was still DC's mayor. Despite the fact he got caught smoking crack in a motel with a hooker, he got voted back again as DC's mayor. So he smoked crack and stayed mayor. The guy in Toronto, I think he died. I think he's dead, but he was a crack smoking mayor. He smoked crack in office, yeah.
Full disclosure, people listening, we are not experts in anything. We just talk shit. We might sound like idiots because we have no idea what we're actually talking about. We might say some facts once in a while, things we heard, but we fuck up things we heard. It changes it through the grapevine. He might have smoked crack, but by the time you hear it next, he might have been shooting up the next time we talk about him. We don't know. It might just change. We're not the news.
We played the telephone game in our own head until the story comes out like so fucking fantastical that we have to tell you guys. But we may not be historically accurate about the facts that we're trying to tell you. Facts.
Something might be.
I am not an expert. So, but to be quite honest with you, like, you know, there are probably a lot more mayors of a lot more cities who've probably done a lot worse. And then smoking crack may not even look nearly that bad. But who do you think?
Full disclosure, I don't care that he did. I don't think that's kind of
really?
Okay, cool, whatever. I mean, no, not cool. Not that's a good thing. It's not a good thing, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Because
it's not as bad as people make it out to be, but it's bad.
We're all fucking human.
Humans
do stupid shit.
But why you vote for somebody is your confidence in their ability to make a decision, and obviously in their ability to make a decision better than you do. And if they're smoking crack, they're probably using port.
Have you been to DC?
Yeah.
That's the best they got. That guy is the best they got.
I mean, you know, at the time, I think DC's probably doing a little bit better now, though. But not saying he was a bad politician. And I'm not saying that the crack smoking took away from his ability, might have taken away some of his ability. But the thing is, I feel like there's a fine line. If it's like he got caught snorting cocaine, you know, all right, maybe not that bad.
Okay, well, of course this guy.
All right, what happened? He got caught driving under the influence because he took a Percocet. Oh, okay. If he got caught shooting heroin, it's like, you know, like if he got caught smoking crack, it's like, if he got caught doing a line with like a hooker as an extortion. All right, he's a politician.
You know what? If he got caught smoking weed, everyone would vote for him again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, apparently they went to crack too. Apparently, crack was not the worst thing on their list.
Right, it was not the worst thing on their list. Exactly, it could have been a lot worse. He could have been caught murdering somebody.
What's his name? I want to see the guy he lost to. What's his name?
I have no fucking idea.
DC mayor caught smoking crack. DC mayor.
Marion Barry. Crack. His name is Marion Barry. Am I right, Marion Barry?
You are.
Okay, and who is the guy who he lost to the second time around after he got caught smoking crack?
Hold on, let's see.
And introducing our second term crack smoking mayor, Marion Barry. Imagine he comes out like after the election's won, after he wins the election, and he's like fucking dancing, and everybody's like suspect, like, yo, he could be a high on crack right now. Yo, but the thing is, Toronto's mayor, even he obviously looked like he was high on crack. Marion Barry did present himself as somebody who was high on crack while he was working. I think he was off hours and just decided to suck the glass dick real quick right before he fucked the hooker, and was just like, "Oh shit, I'm caught on camera." You know what I mean?
Wow.
That motherfucker from Toronto looked like Chris Farley at peak crackhead.
He was like, "Yo, he really fucking did." I swore it was fucking Chris Farley. I was like, "Is the mayor Chris Farley?"
He looked like he ate one whole cheesecake and then did a fucking a quarter ounce of fucking cocaine to the face, and then ate another dozen donuts, and did that in a cycle over the course of a week, because he was sweating every fucking town meeting there was a press conference he held. He's fucking sweating profusely. His fucking tie's open. He looks like his fat ass was up for a month. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck? That his situation was way worse because he was obviously high on crack at work all the time. Awkward silence.
So no, it's not awkward silence. I was laughing at you, but my mind blown. So this guy Barry, the fucking crackhead mayor, governor, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Not only did he win in a landslide. But he beat 3 other people.
Ooh. Goddamn. Nobody can hold a candle to this guy. That's it. Right? He was like, I don't know, maybe he did a good job with the city. I mean, listen, say what you want to say about Rudy Giuliani, but everybody had mixed opinions about him. You know, a lot of people who didn't like him, but then a lot of people praised him for cleaning up Manhattan and making New York City the money-making
I mean, Times Square is
juggernaut.
not
He
the Times
cleaned
Square
up.
I remember.
Nope, me neither. It's not how I was introduced to Times Square. It didn't look like that when I was a kid. And, you know, a lot of arguments can be made to how he was probably one of the better mayors that the city ever had. And I wouldn't want to be friends with him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to praise him. He did great work with the city. And no matter what your political leanings is as far as the president of the United States, I know he's friends with Trump or whatever, you know, and he is a little bit of a pompous asshole now, Rudy Giuliani, but doesn't change the fact that he did a lot
He's
of
old. People get old.
good things. He did a lot of, yeah, people get old. He did a lot of good things in New York City. But like going back to the whole mayor smoking crack and stuff like that, Rudy Giuliani being the former mayor of New York City, you know, like I start to think like, well, if these mayors were like smoking crack behind the citizens' back, you know, and the media's back and stuff like that, everybody who could possibly, you know, not be happy about finding out about
What else
that.
are they fucking doing?
Imagine what other mayors have done in the past, like Fiorello LaGuardia. What if he had somebody killed? What if fucking, you know, we obviously know that I think one of the Kennedys, right, was the mayor of Boston. Like, was it
fucking
Joe
didn't
Kennedy was the mayor of Boston? He was a mobster. He was like a bootleg mobster, right?
Didn't
Something
the brother
like that.
didn't the brother crash his car, kill a girl, go home, go to sleep, and then when they reported it the next day and the cops came, was like, oh shit, she died? Didn't that happen to one of the Kennedys?
In the 1970s, yeah, that was like a huge fucking controversy. I'm talking 100 years ago.
I have no idea about it.
100 years ago, one of the patriarchs of the Kennedy clan, I think JFK and Robert Kennedy's father, was I think he was like the mayor. His name was Joe Kennedy. I think he was like the mayor of fucking Boston or some shit like that. And he was involved with the mafia or the mob.
Yeah,
you know,
he helped him get elected, and then when JFK appointed his brother as head of the FBI, I think it was head of the
he went after
the Justice Department. He went after them.
He went after them. But what I'm saying is that I'm not going to put it past a mayor of the city to have somebody murdered on the DL for political.
No, of course not. No, why not?
If they, you know, because like if you think you could get away with
De Blasio is a fucking pothead, right?
Yeah, I know that shit. You mean Warren Wilhelm? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Warren
The German Italian mayor.
Yeah.
When he took over the fucking whatchamacallit, the mansion, the fucking not City Hall, but the fucking mansion, the mayor's mansion.
Yeah, Gracie Mansion. Yep.
He picked his specific like private security out of NYPD cops, specific guys that he trusted. Obviously, I mean that's normal. But then he raised the fence. No, he didn't raise the fence. He built another fence that you couldn't see through.
Okay.
Over next to the other fence.
Yeah.
And then before the new guys took over the squad, they said it reeked of weed in the mornings in the backyard.
Wow.
So you can't see and it reeks of weed. I mean, it's not a bad thing. That's great.
It doesn't make him cool. People. You know, this is the thing. It doesn't make him cool. Everybody else, I'd be like, yeah, you know, like that.
But it makes sense.
You know, I can't hate. I don't. You know, like I would definitely never ever hate on a pothead mayor ever. But him.
But it makes sense.
Like me, who I don't like. So. Yeah.
And like
maybe it does make sense. But you want to know something? I'm pretty sure.
Remember, he was always late to his meetings in the mornings.
Every morning he was late to every press conference. Gary Johnson held his position in office as a self-proclaimed pothead. There were plenty.
I played that video last time. Did you watch it? I think you were on.
Yeah, when he stumbled on the ground after she said that.
He's the man. I voted for him.
Yeah. I definitely supported him in the last election. I
didn't think he was going to win, but I wasn't voting for Trump. Unfortunately, I was not voting for Hillary Clinton.
I couldn't do either. Also, as well. You know, it was hard. It was one of the hardest decisions to make because even honestly, you know, like it was a hard decision for me in 2000, my first presidential election. going between Bush and Gore, I didn't know what to do because I didn't know what to do. I was 19. I had absolutely no idea what my political leanings were, and as you saw in the election, it was 50-50, but the end was rigged because they fucked everything down here in Florida. But the thing is, like, it was hard to decide
because she also fits in the whole dynamic of the show. You know, history of the word cunt.
Oof.
So
I've heard worse words for her though. That's the thing. I've heard the word thunder put in front of that word when referred to her.
Oh, so she's.
A lot of people, you get a lot of nasty opinions like that. I don't mean that because, and it's nothing against Hillary Clinton from me is ever because she's a woman.
No, not at all. It's because she's
one of the reasons why I've ever thought twice about not supporting her was because but she's a woman, man. This is bullshit. You know, like there should be some sort of a change. I would like to see somebody like Tulsi Gabbard be president of the United States of America. I want the opportunity. I don't want Joe Biden. I don't want Sanders. I would love Tulsi Gabbard. You know, like I want to vote for her. This is who I want to vote for. Honestly, America. And you know, I also cracked that little joke like a couple of times where I was like, it would be beautiful if we could have Crenshaw and her be the joint yin yang president and Madam and Mr. President of the country. And
I think we need that too.
Fight over it.
We need that.
Everybody will see the duality and how difficult it is to have our bipartisan government, you know, unify or meet in the middle, and see why. You know, somebody in the figurehead position doesn't really even put it into contrast because everybody just gets in the wash of their own ideals and shit, and nobody can see how it clashes with other people and how this country really works internally because they're looking at
and
figurehead.
We definitely need some change, and that's why you gotta stop.
These younger politicians have better ideas. The younger politicians
not all of them. Not all of them. There's some.
Andrew Yang had a couple of good ideas. I liked a lot of the things Andrew Yang had thrown out. Although that they're far off in the future, they're not going to come sooner. You know, later than sooner. It'll be a lot of his ideas. But he had a couple of interesting ideas too. But you know, like I don't want anybody going back to that to think that I'm referring to Hillary Clinton as a thunder cunt because I'm a woman hater. I don't want anybody to ever think that.
No. Hillary Clinton is not a woman.
I just think that sometimes words match. You know, like sometimes I look at pictures of Donald Trump.
In 2013, Hillary Clinton did not believe in gay marriage.
I know. She's a flip-flopper. Sometimes I look at pictures of Donald Trump and I say shithead. And I'm like, oh, it works. You know what I mean? Sometimes I look at
a shithead.
Sometimes I look, he is. And sometimes I look at Hillary Clinton and I see thunder cunt. I'm sorry. It's just like what fucking comes off the top of my head. You know what? It happens with a lot of politicians. I'm sorry. With me, regardless of their gender.
I like her too, Raymond. But Raymond's comment threw me off. It's probably old because it's like a 30-second delay. But he liked Tulsi Gabbard too. She's really smart.
Yeah, I like Tulsi Gabbard.
What the fuck were you just saying? Shit, you were saying something. I was gonna say something.
I forget, man. I'm on some sort of a level right now, so I'm definitely not gonna remember. I'm not gonna remember 5 seconds in the past. I got to keep this ball moving. I'm like the boulder in Indiana Jones, and I'm only going in one direction, coming right at you.
So, what do you want to talk about in the next episode?
I don't know. I'm thinking about what there was a couple of things that crossed my mind today about like what do I know jack shit about? What is it that I know jack shit about? You know what? Like
it doesn't have to be something we don't know because we could talk about anything. It's just two fucking go away. Two fucking dumbfounded dipshits talking about shit, and we don't always have to be right. We could just watch something and go, "Wow, now we understand astrophysics. Right. That's how it works."
Well, are you've mentioned the astrophysics thing a couple of times.
I don't.
Do you want to do a black? I challenge you to a black hole show. We'll do a black hole show. Let's do a whole hole. Let's do a whole show about black holes. Black hole show.
Oh, okay. Black holes and
what? And assholes? Black holes and assholes?
Black holes and the Star of Destiny.
The Eye of Destiny. I think that's called the Eye of Destiny, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you call it the Star of Destiny, it makes sense with the black holes.
Black holes and balloon knots?
Black holes.
I like balloon knot. Balloon knot is my favorite term for a sphincter. I love it because it looks, like you tie the balloon knot and you fucking hold it open. It looks like a butthole. It looks just like a butthole.
Oh my god.
A lot of things look like assholes, actually. If you really think about it.
Look like I googled it. I'm like, you know what? It does look like an asshole.
Looks like a fucking asshole.
I'm bring it up. It fucking looks like a fucking asshole.
Balloon knot looks like assholes.
Fucking asshole. Balloon knot looks like an asshole. Look at all those assholes.
Even that pot leaf looks. That's it. That's an asshole. That's an asshole. That's an ass. That's an asshole. That's an asshole. That's an asshole.
The shirt is definitely a real asshole. That shirt is not a balloon knot.
That's an asshole. That's an asshole. That's an asshole. Scroll down.
Hold on. I gotta find the screen. Okay.
That's an ass. That's an asshole. That's a balloon knot. That's an asshole. That's an asshole. That's an asshole.
What the fuck is that?
That's an asshole. That's a balloon knot. That's an asshole. That's an asshole. They all look like assholes. It's like
holes.
It's like I'm surrounded by assholes.
And
Lieutenant Major Asshole here, sir.
That's the name of the next episode.
All right, cool. So we got to throw some proctology questions in there too. We got to throw some.
Well, we could also
lower
have
digest.
our audience ask us questions too if they want about.
Yeah, audience ask questions, man.
Not now.
In real time.
Or you can now unless you want to. If you have something to say about cunts, because we kind of gave the history of cunts already. It started.
Yeah, what do you guys want to know about cunts?
Maybe by a goddess named Cunty, but she wasn't always a cunty. She married into Cunty, so she became a cunt eventually. She wasn't always a cunt.
Yeah, she wasn't always a cunt, and it always happens that way. Sometimes they're not always a cunt, and then they become a cunt. And when I say they, I mean people in general.
No, it's not N-O-T. It's not with a K-N-O-T, isn't it? Am I retarded?
Balloon knot.
No, yeah, no. But Raymond said not. See, I said black holes and balloon knots, and he went not. You gotta go tighter. You gotta hold it tighter, though. It's gotta be like. No, maybe not. Here's the hole.
All right, gross. Gross! Yeah. I could smell your fucking dinner. Ew.
Oh, so the stoner box I get, that's not a sponsor. That I would love for them to be a sponsor, the Daily High Club. Although I haven't tagged them or posted them in any of my shit in a while. They send me this too.
Ooh, what is that? Is that chapstick?
420 odor eliminator.
Oh shit! So you could.
I don't know if it works or not, but also safe on hair and clothes. That's good to know.
All right, so it comes in handy. Or come in real handy.
Yo.
Fantastic.
Did I show you this? I'm gonna show this.
Me.
I think you did see this. I'm gonna show them this.
All right, let's show these people this.
He's like, I don't know what we're showing them. This might be it.
Porn.
Hopefully
it's porn.
Porn.
Oh yeah. God said, ha ha, Stephen Hawking.
I'm sorry. That I have very, very fucked up humor, and that made me laugh.
My
I don't even
God.
know where
You
I
know
saw
what?
that, but that there is no God, Stephen Hawkins. Oh God.
You know what? Sometimes, like, this is how I get through the day now in quarantine. It's, like I'll have a block of an hour where otherwise I'd be depressed. And then I look at fucking memes and I fucking troll and scroll and I fucking look at these fucking nasty dank memes and
So
they
what
really
you gotta do is find fucking a niche for your podcast and find groups that fit that niche and then share your link into those groups.
Oh yeah, that's what I should do.
I have a bunch of for this podcast. Today and yesterday or mostly today because we thought of it yesterday. I went in a bunch of offensive humor and offensive podcast groups just because we're kind of offensive.
Yeah, I'm offended. I've been offended this whole fucking podcast. A perpetual state of offense.
But we don't need any. We're not calling women cunts. Let's get rid of this offensive meme.
Cunt.
And we're not calling women cunts. We were looking for the source of the word cunt and where it came from, and we found that. So we didn't mean that in any offensive way. I have never called a woman a cunt.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
You didn't hear what I just said?
That's a lie.
That didn't deserve it. I have never called. You didn't hear the whole thing. I said I have never called a woman a cunt. That didn't deserve it.
Gotcha. All right. I see where the disclaimer is in that one.
Yeah, I mean,
I called everybody a cunt. I've done. You know what I've done? And you're all a bunch of cunts. So you get everybody equally. That's how you do it.
You know what?
When you're gonna use the word, you make sure you
What is your least favorite Quentin Tarantino movie?
Ooh, least?
Your least favorite.
I love them all, but Jackie Brown would have to be my least favorite.
Me too. I knew you
were
going to say Jackie Brown.
I love Jackie Brown. And I love Jackie Brown.
I like Jackie Brown as a standalone movie, but it's not Quentin Tarantino movie. It's not like
it's not in the universe.
Yes, he made it. Yes, but it's not the same kind of thing. I mean, it's not the
honestly,
same feel
this
to
is
it.
the thing.
It's like more Hollywood. I don't know.
This is how I see it, right? Honestly, if you watch right, it's more Hollywood, and it's based off a book. I think it's a book. It's not. It was a screen adaptation.
I'll find out.
So it's not his original story. I don't believe it's his original story. But when you watch Reservoir Dogs, when you watch Pulp Fiction, when you watch even the Kill Bill 2-pack. When you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when you watch even Inglourious Bastards, could potentially, in your own mind, if you watch these things in the same style that you go with him and you go in that mood and that flow, it feels like it's the same universe. It's all stories happening in that same universe. It's totally plausible that the Tate LoBianco murders happen the way that Tarantino said in the world that Pulp Fiction exists in. That Inglourious Bastards exists in the same world that Kill Bill exists in, for sure. You know what I mean? You can totally get that fucking feeling. But with Jackie Brown, it's just like
it's different.
Is gangster shit that happened in Southern California.
Here's what it's based on.
Right. Rum Punch. Elmore Leonard. Yep.
So it was based on a book.
Yeah, so that's why it's my least favorite of his movies that he claims to be part of his.
I talked to someone and they told me that they hated Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was the worst movie they've ever seen in their life. And I said, I loved that movie. I go, you know what? You just didn't get it. He goes, what do you mean? How dare you say that? I'm like, you're offended because I said you didn't get it? If you didn't love something that a lot of people loved, you didn't get it. Or it just could have not been your thing. But there was not 1 second in that movie I was not entertained in that I wasn't like feeling it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like it's a very different kind of movie, but it was a great movie. And The Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Eight could take place in that universe. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also Django. Django.
Well, that was a great movie.
Kill Bill. Django, Inglourious Bastards, and Kill Bill.
It's
all
Django. The D is silent, bro.
I like the hard D though.
but the D is silent. He says it in the movie. Remember,
Django.
Old school
Django
turns to new school Django and goes, "Do you know how to spell that?"
Django.
And he goes D-J-N. No, not N. What am I retarded? A-N-G-O.
A-N, yeah.
The D is silent. And that was old school Django, because that's also a fucking
a classic
spaghetti western.
Yep. Spaghetti westerns are cool. I watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly recently, and then immediately after I watched it, I downloaded the whole soundtrack onto my fucking playlist. And I literally listened.
Movies in that series. The Man with No Name.
The Man with No Name, yeah. And then is it Fistful of Dollars? Wasn't that part of that too?
I think so.
What the fuck else, man? There was like there was another one of those.
I think there's three of them, isn't there? Oh, it's The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. $2 more.
Okay.
For a few dollars more was not that good. The Good, Bad, and the Ugly is the best one.
Yeah. So it's Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and what's the second one?
Fistful of Dollars.
Fistful of Dollars. That's the one that I watched recently.
A Fistful of Dollars.
A Fistful of Dollars. Yeah, I know. And then for a few dollars more is the third one, and it's meh.
When I
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The way the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly ends in the cemetery. The way the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly ends in the cemetery, with that song playing, with the Ecstasy of Gold. You know the Dos Equis commercial. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Music makes like.
Yep.
So that music makes the hair on the back of my neck fucking stand up. I'm like, oh my god, I want a six-shooter.
That's how Kill Bill was. That's exactly what we did in Kill Bill.
It was like drop, and you felt like that. Yeah.
That last fight scene between fucking Beatrice and
Miss Kiddo and Bill. Or which fight?
No.
At the first movie?
Kill Bill 1.
Ren Ishii. Crazy 80.
And the fucking water thing keeps dropping the log and making the noise.
Like
every couple of seconds. It was just that made the hair on the back of my neck fucking stand up. Just because it was random and just
scalped her. That blade came. That movie was dope. I saw that in the theater when it came out, and I was pumped for it too. As a Tarantino fan, I was like so pumped.
We didn't see that together, did we?
No, I didn't know you back then. I
saw that with Paula, by the way.
In 2004, 2005, I didn't meet her until 2009. So the movie was out for a while at that point. But I saw Pulp Fiction in the theater. I was 13. I wasn't allowed to go, but me and my friends snuck into the theater to see it. And from that point on, I was like, holy shit. And then I found out what Reservoir Dogs was.
I didn't see it. I think I saw Pulp. You said Pulp Fiction, right? I said.
Yeah. A year later, I found out that Reservoir Dogs was also a Tarantino movie, and immediately went and rented it from Blockbuster. Immediately rented it, and I was like, I thought at the time I was like a fucking movie cunt. I was like, no. Oh, no, it's not. Clockwork Orange is a better movie than that. I'd be like, oh, no, it's not. Stanley Kubrick's the best director in the world. I was a fucking movie cunt.
But hold on. But you're not wrong.
And I'm not. I know I'm not wrong. But the thing is, with Tarantino, they're different. With Tarantino, everybody was like, Pulp Fiction's the best movie. And I was like, no, you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs. And I used to be a cunt about it. I used to be very cunty about it. And I used to be like, no, you don't know. Because Reservoir Dogs is the better movie. Why do I gotta be Mr. Pink? You don't even know about that. And I would drop like stupid pop culture references thinking that I was like a fucking connoisseur. But Reservoir Dogs at the time, when I was like 15, I thought was a better movie. Even though Pulp Fiction was the bee's knees, it's still the shit. Classic. I could watch that movie a million fucking times. Pulp Fiction and Empire Strikes Back, I could watch over and over again.
I like Pulp Fiction, but I really like Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
I even like True Romance, which is Quentin Tarantino's first written movie.
He penned it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He also penned Natural Born Killers, by the way. But he wanted nothing to do with that.
Why, though? Why? That fucking movie's so good.
In his exact words, he said, when you buy my fucking movie, you ask for permission before you change my fucking script, and you don't just fucking make a movie that's not my fucking movie.
Yeah.
He got pissed that I think they rewrote it and didn't ask, but they said they asked, and he said sure or something. I don't know. It was the script.
You know who you're dealing with, Mike. You're dealing with Oliver Stone in that case, and you know how he is. You've seen JFK. You've seen all the fucking movies that Oliver Stone made. He's very strict and particular. So at the early part of Quentin Tarantino's career, you know, like you're lucky enough to be part of that ensemble. But the thing is, like, you have to expect somebody like Oliver Stone's going to have an ego and try to trump you on the...
Yeah, like, but dude, I've been doing this for 15 years already. I'm already, getting your
But
lane.
True Romance, I believe the True Romance, the director really kept it as much to...
Yeah,
to
it was one of the Scott.
To
it was
the
Tony
Tarantino...
Scott or Ridley Scott. I forgot which one.
Tony Scott.
Hopefully
the one who killed himself. The guy who killed himself.
Yeah.
Tony Scott committed suicide. Tony Scott did...
Jumped off a bridge, man.
Yeah, he did. But he did a lot of action movies. Ridley Scott did Alien. You know, Ridley Scott did all that shit. But, yeah, Tony Scott did that. But he stayed as true to the script, to the screenplay as he could have.
So, after Black Holes and Balloon Knots, which we won't do tomorrow, maybe we'll do it the next day. We'll take a day off so you could focus on your podcast and networking, and I could do other shit. But maybe the one after that. What's the girliest chick flick you've ever seen?
Ooh. All right. Now, are we talking romantic comedy or just cry fest? Because I could tell you, I have a story.
Have you seen The Notebook?
Yes, I've seen The Notebook, but I have an epic story that is a movie that could arguably trump The Notebook. Okay. The Notebook is historic in the capacity of being the ultimate one of the ultimate chick flicks.
Did you
ultimate
cry?
Chick flick.
Did
I did not cry.
On The Notebook?
Teared up.
Come on. Oh, you're heartless.
At the end of The Notebook, I teared up at the end of The Notebook, but not during any of those events during the movie until they were old. Until they were old in the bed.
Before you tell me your chick flick. Before you tell me your chick flick, quickly.
There's a story behind.
I know. But I watched that with a mutual friend, Dave, and someone else. And while watching it, we knew the part was coming because we had seen it, but the person didn't see it. So me and him look at each other and we start tearing up already because we know what's coming. And that person's like, "Why are you guys crying? What's going on? What's going on? Why are you guys crying?" And then things happen, and everyone's crying. And I'm like, "I hate you guys because I didn't even cry this much the first time I saw this movie. I just looked at him and he was thinking, and I was thinking the same thing, and it was coming, and now I'm crying."
Like you start shaking, your lips start shaking.
Exactly. Like we looked at each other and we're like, "It's coming! Oh God, it's coming!"
I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not. No, you're crying. No, I'm not crying. You're crying. You know what? Like, yeah, I did I welled up hard at the end of The Notebook. I did when they were both. Spoiler alert. When they're both in the hospital in the deathbed scene, that was very sad. Yeah. It was very sad. They talk about, but my epic chick flick story goes back to 1987. And my sister was 8 years older than me, and I was in her... my mother had left her to watch me for that afternoon. So I was in my sister's hands. And my sister had a girlfriend over who was allowed to hang out with her as long as they both watched me. Now, I always lived at least around the corner or across the street from a movie theater. When I lived in this apartment at the time, the Marlboro movie theater was around the corner. I shortly moved to Bay 19th and 86th Street, where the Lowe's movie theater was across the street. I now live across the street from a movie theater that now in Corona crisis is not being used, which is a total torture, to my, oh man, I love to be in the movies. But trust me, a lot more people are suffering. Let me not, take away from that. But it sucks that I'm like, oh man, I finally, got back to living across the street from a movie theater, and now all this stuff, and now you can't even go to the movies. I love going to the movies. So my sister was like, let's go to the movies. So her and a friend are talking and chatting. I'm listening. I'm playing with my cars. I'm like, I want to go to the movies too. So she decided to present the idea to my mother, who I had walked up behind her and said, I want to go to the movies too. My mom said, you could go, but you got to take him. So they were like, fine. They stomped the whole way. My mom gave them money to get us popcorn and soda and stuff and to take him to the movies. You could go to the movies, but you got to take him with you. So she dragged me with her. There was like a video game in front of the place. She let me sit in front of it. She went to go buy the tickets. I'm playing the video game. She comes, she grabs me, sits me down, and says, don't say a fucking word throughout this whole movie. This is important to me and my friends. And the movie starts. It's fucking Dirty Dancing. My sister took me to see Dirty Dancing the weekend that it came out in 1987. So I sat there. I
was wrong. Wow.
I watched the whole fucking movie. I was 6 years old. I watched the whole fucking...
Did you like that movie?
And Patrick Swayze, I always thought was a badass. He was a cool guy. That same year, I saw The Outsiders, and I saw there was another movie. Dawn. I saw Red Dawn. I was 5 years old. I saw Red Dawn. And I was able to sneak some action movies past my mom. And I remember from 4 on. But 5, I was allowed to, like hush
did
hush.
You enjoy
use the VCR.
Did you enjoy I
could say as I did not cry. But it holds a place as ultimate chick flick. If you ever asked me in a top 10, and if I had to give you a top 10 of chick flicks, The Notebook is number 2 and Dirty Dancing is number 1.
I've never watched the entire movie Dirty Dancing up until I got married and my wife.
It's great.
It's my wife's favorite movie.
Great.
So now I've watched it over 100 times, and it's the only thing about that movie. The movie bothers me because
it's a serious movie. It's a serious movie. It's a constant
reminder that girl had nothing wrong with her face, and then she went ahead and ruined her career by getting a nose job.
I know. Jennifer Grey was pretty.
She was pretty. She was cute, and there was nothing wrong with her.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller's Day Off.
Movie.
As when I was like an adolescent, almost teenager, it was like part of my Bible. I love that movie. I was like, I want to be Ferris Bueller. Everybody wanted to be Ferris Bueller, and I was like, you know what? Ferris Bueller should stop being such a dick to. It's hot, and I did this when I was in junior high school. I found that's an adult. She never really acted after that, but it was a serious movie. Like they tackled the abortion topic. They tackled just like how teenagers dealt with like.
Did you see that movie that they're talking about? What women want?
Yeah, with Mel Gibson. That's not a chick flick.
Gibson.
That's not a chick flick. That's a Mel Gibson movie. Anything Mel Gibson is not a chick flick.
Even if it's chick flicky.
It's chick flicky. It's not a chick flick. It's fucking Mel Gibson, Kyle. Man, I was so upset when Mel Gibson dropped all those racist bombs because I love Mel Gibson.
I love him more after it.
Oh. For different reasons, though.
No, not because he said that shit. Because he said that shit, he still managed to make shitty movies. Listen.
Well, he had friends who were making shitty movies, so they were willing to cast them.
I'm not racist.
Mel Gibson.
And usually, when someone says I'm not racist, you think the next thing they're going to say is going to be racist.
Immediately after.
But it's not going to be racist. I'm not racist. I don't know a lot of people that are racist. Actually, maybe I do. But they're not. People will argue that they can't be racist because they are a minority. So maybe I don't know any racists. But there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. As long as you understand it's something that you're wrong about. You might feel that way.
I don't know, man. But you know what? I fight feelings like that all the time. I mean, I think everybody does because
but what I'm going to say is, look, he was angry, and when angry people are angry, we say stupid things.
Yeah, but the thing
if
is,
I get cut off, whoever cuts me off is whatever racial slur fits their profile. That's not being racist. That's being angry. Because I can't fucking hate everybody, but when that white fucking piece of shit Mick cuts me off.
True. But what society is expecting you to do. Now, this is the thing, and most people recognize that there is a level of some sort of racially charged preconceived notion that could possibly be out there that other people could have against others, right? Now, that being said, what society expects you to do is that being out there, you're expected to show self-control enough to have respect enough for the humans around you to not bring that ever, even at the most heightened level of anger. Because even me, and I'm not trying to fucking dude, this is no judgment against you. You do you. You do you, homie. I don't rule your body, and I don't tell you what you should do.
Look. I'm not saying I should get angry and run around and yelling racial slurs at people, but I'm saying in the privacy.
I'll never be mad enough to say the N-word. Though. No matter how angry I am, I'll never say the S-word, the K-word, the N-word, the G-word.
What's the K-word?
The Jewish slur.
Oh.
The K-word. And G is the Asian slur word.
Like,
I won't say them.
You don't have to say the K-word. You could just say the other word that you... I mean, there's many other... Anyway, it doesn't matter. But
yeah,
you've never got angry enough and said something like that?
I've said cunt.
Wow. Well, I mean, we've said cunt about 150 times on this podcast, so you might as well make 151.
I've called, but the thing is, what I'm definitely not.
No, but look. I'm not saying. Hold on. I'm not saying.
I've slut shamed. I've gotten into fights.
I'm not saying I roll my window down and yell at the person, because I would never call someone a racial slur to their face. Not because I'm afraid they might shoot me, because that's a possibility too, because people are crazy.
That's always a possibility. Somebody can get really angry.
It's something that's like the epitome of making fun of or cursing at someone. Like, I can be more creative than the obvious. Like, that's just stating the fucking obvious. Whatever race it is, I could be like, listen, you silly cunt, learn how to drive, you dickless bastard. It's a lot different.
This is what I have to say with that. I'm definitely. I don't want to sound like I want to censor people.
In the privacy of my car, and nobody's listening, and I get cut off, I might scream, "This motherfucking Mick bastard," whatever, or I use the appropriate ones for white people. What's also appropriate for white people? Look at this white red motherfucker, can't even drive with those fucking 4-eye glasses.
Yeah.
Nerd. Poindexter. Cracker.
Opie.
Cracker doesn't work for me, does it? Right?
I've heard
it doesn't work for me.
Cracker, white boy. The thing is, this is how I look at it. I've had friends of mine and stuff like that, lose it and stuff, and use really harsh language out of anger. But I've also had friends who would use harsh language, just joking and camaraderie with people who would accept it. So I've had both. And we have a lot of friends who happen to be of Jewish descent and call each other Jew bags. We have Jewish friends of ourselves who call each other Jew bags. And it's weird watching that exchange amongst two people who happen to be Jewish. I
call them Jew bags. Are you saying I'm not supposed to do that?
Right. I've also heard you call Mr. Jonathan Cortez the S-word before, too, but you could do that because you're Puerto Rican also. Yeah.
Well,
now the thing is, you're both Puerto Rican. You're both Puerto Rican.
Yeah. It's different. And I don't say I call myself I used to call myself a Spick McGinney. Spick McGinney. That's what I am.
Yeah, that's the.
It's kind of what I am. It's now according to the DNA test, I'm African too, so I can use the N-word. Is that what that means?
What? No. It's not what that means, Michael.
It doesn't work.
What that means, Michael. No.
There's not enough whatchamacallit in my skin.
You're not enough melanin. You got to get a little bit more than maybe. Yeah, you can't do that shit. No, I'm not broadcasting with the N-word. I'm not doing that.
Let me tell you something. It was the weirdest thing going to the vegan festival with my black sister, who's like my height. Who's my height now, but
she's
still
taller
half
than you
my
now.
age.
I thought last time I saw her, she was taller than you, wasn't she?
No, she's exactly my height, basically, or I'm still like a half inch taller than her.
Right.
Walking around with her at the vegan festival, and I don't know. I can't say this loud. My wife might hear me.
What?
But we were doing nothing but checking out the other. You can't hear me, can you?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. No, I was really weird going with my sister, half my age, who's my height, who's black, checking out all the hot vegan chicks. Basically, is what I was gonna say. But I'm glad I was gonna scream it. But
yeah. It's okay. Your secret is safe with me.
No, it's not. It's live, and she watches and yeah.
That's cool, man. I mean, you know what? Like, listen, families are all weird. You know, I look like like the Irish, American ginger fuck, but I have like my brother and my sister. They're both half Arab and half Caucasian. So
what's Caucasian?
I got Caucasian.
You can't be half Caucasian.
White people.
Irish? Are they Irish or what are they?
Yeah, I like Irish American and Egyptian. Yeah. So they're a mix too. It was definitely, I chilled my brother. My brother, he was my best man at my wedding. You know what I mean? So I come from a mixed family too. A lot of Italians, a lot of, black, Latino, Asian.
But not a lot of cunts, right?
Middle East. Not a lot of cunts. Although everyone, we could all be a cunt.
I mean, you never know. I knew lots of crazy cunts.
Consistently cunty. That's the thing. That's a good balance. Like you every once in a while we feel a little cuntish, so we decide to act cunty, like the goddess. But the thing is, you don't have to be a cunt all the time. Every once in a while, you might act like a cunt, but just as long as you're not a cunt across the board, I think we'll all be all right. Do you agree, Mike?
I'm smoking Gorilla Glue, and I have the worst cotton mouth right now in my life. Just saying, my mouth is completely dry.
So you're like, I can't get an answer out.
If my mouth was a cunt, it'd be a dry cunt.
Oh. Like some fucking 80-year-old dusty cunt.
Wow.
Yeah, what you need to do right now is take a sip of water, Michael. All right, just so anybody who's tuning in right now and who's heard any of that, just understand this. If you're into this show, you've heard this, and you're ready to complain, then you're getting yourselves into it anyway. Changes. So please, if you're offended, I'm offended. Get the fuck out of the room.
Go be a cunt somewhere else.
Fucking cunt somewhere else.
But don't forget to give a thumbs up before you leave.
Yeah, definitely hit like on that motherfucker before you bounce. Definitely hit like and subscribe too, so you can hear more fucking cunt talk in the future. Damn, Michael. Damn.
What?
You higher than the Sears Tower right now, Michael. Shit. Yeah, man. Smoking all that ganja. I was gonna say to you before when we were talking about balloon knots, sometimes pot leaves when they're drawn a certain way look like a butthole too.
Pot leaves
and the
buttholes.
Leaves go in, like they fold in. You know what I mean? Like in like a butthole. Everything's like folded in. You know what I'm talking about? Nah.
Yeah. Oh, like when it curls and dries, like
Curls in. Yeah, when it just, like fucking curls. I don't know.
maybe.
Like sometimes pot leaves, if you look at it, like in a certain sort of, even like a black light poster, sometimes a black light poster pot leaves. Maybe I'm just one of those people who sees, like phallic symbols, except I see butthole symbols and everything. I just see buttholes everywhere. Everywhere I go,
Maybe.
I see the same hole.
Wow.
Tupac! Y'all forget Tupac. Come on. When did you think you were going to get your shout out for Tupac?
So wait, why
ever?
did if it came from if the word cunt came from the goddess, excuse me?
I don't think it came from that. I think it came from the ancient Latin kun, like cunnilingus, like oral sex is cunnilingus. Kun is the pussy, right? And lingus is the tongue. So that's the word for oral sex is cunnilingus. So maybe cunt came from that because people would, like I said, wanted to be fancy and use a medical term because Latin's used in medical terms. And they said cun, put the T at the end of it because it's fucking vulgar. And then the Cockney motherfuckers just went around the world on their fucking pirate boats calling everybody cunts. That's my theory. And I'm sticking to it. That's going in my fucking thesis on the word cunt.
I'm reading a feminist article about the word cunt, and I'm just like, wow, some cunt wrote that.
Maybe they should take the word back. You know what I mean? Take it back. Make it a term of endearment. Stop being a fucking cunt about it. And take the fucking word. I'm sorry. I'm definitely gonna have like some sort of fucking militant feminist group like just kick down my door and fucking try to take my
That
guns
would be
from me.
okay. Look, if someone starts to hate us, our subscriptions are just gonna go up.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I said it. You know what? I said that to my guest on my live cast. I was like, any bad publicity is still good publicity. I don't give a shit. You talk to me. If you want to hate me, please hate me.
And we don't mean to offend anyone. We just say whatever the fuck we want. It's just we're not personally attacking anyone. Unless you're Hillary Clinton and you're the largest cunt in the world. What's this shit?
Hey Mike, I know if you're ever found suicided, I know the Clintons did it. Same for me. If I'm ever found suicided, the Clintons did it.
True.
If I'm ever found as well, me too. Not just you, me also.
True.
Clintons did it.
So the next episode, black holes and balloon knots.
Balloon knots. Black holes and balloon knots.
I'm gonna head out. I'm stone out of my mind.
You sleep well, buddy.
Balloon knots. Where the fuck is it? There's the asshole. All right. So that means we actually have to do some research on black holes and
yeah, I'm full of them. I could give a.
You're full on balloon knots.
And black holes, both actually. You're in luck.
Wow, you're like a proctologist.
And an astronomer. I'm like a theoretical.
Oh my god.
I got my doctorate in proctology and astronomy. And gastronomy.
Peace, bro.
I'm cooking up food. Good night, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody.
And everyone like, subscribe, check out Cancel with Ryan Murphy as well. He's on usually at 3 p.m., I believe.
Well, I'm going to start at 3 now, but then when the pandemic changes, our hours may change, but who knows?
Yeah, everything's going to change once this thing ends, obviously. Peace out, everybody.